moving to the second presentation of poster session. The presenter, Dr. Aigars Atvars, University of Latvia. The title of this presentation is the progress of the ERDF project, the development of quantum optics and photonics at the University of Latvia. Please, Dr. Atvars.
Hello. So I'll share my screen. Okay, this is the shared screen. Okay, sorry. So my presentation is about the progress of the project, which is titled The Development of Quantum Optics and Photonics at the University of Latvia. This is refinanced Horizon 2020 ERDF project, and it is the largest project currently being implemented at the University of Latvia and within our group of FOTONIKA-LV. And I will say what are the activities of the project and current progress. Okay, I think that I could move somehow. Okay, in the presentation, I will tell about this Horizon 2020 ERDF program and what are its aims. Information about our project, about project activities, and conclusions. In Europe, we have a framework program for research and innovation, and in the last period, it was called Horizon 2020, and it had a dedicated section to strengthen low-performing countries like Eastern Europe with specific goals. And these specific goals were teaming projects, twinning projects, and ERDF project. And now we're talking about this one of these projects called ERDF project. Okay. And according to this work program for this call, it's written that ERDF actions will support universities or research organizations in low-performing countries with the objective of attracting and maintaining high-quality human resources under the direction of an outstanding researcher and research manager, the ERDF holder, and in parallel implement structural changes to achieve excellence on a sustainable basis. So the main idea of this call and of this program was that these universities of research institutes can be strengthened by attracting strong research leader and research manager to these institutions, which task will be to create his research team and to implement structural changes. And these structural changes has to be made in a way that the research becomes stronger, this research institute becomes stronger, and this institute becomes more involved in research activities of the Europe, including framework program. Duration of such projects are 5 years and the budget 2.5 million euros. And within Horizon 2020 program, there were 4 calls, and University of Latvia submitted a project for this 3rd call. Our project was called ERDF in Quantum Optics and Photonics. It was submitted on November 2018. It got the score above the threshold, yet the score was not enough high, and the project was not financed by Horizon 2020 program. Yet in Latvia, we had a dedicated European Structural Funds program that supported projects which are implemented only in Latvia and which got a score above the threshold. And so we could refinance this project. And we changed the title of the project as this was as a separate project for this European Regional Development Fund. We started our activities on May 2019, and the deadline for this project has to be November 2023. As was showed in a previous slide, the typical ERDF project is for 5 years, but we have to reduce this duration because requirements for the structural funds, that they have to be spent not later than on November 2023. And during the first half year of the project, we waited for these funders to make additional allocation for the funding, and finally on December 2019, we signed an agreement for the implementation of this project. And the task of this project was to implement the project according to objectives and activities that was submitted for Horizon 2020 call. Therefore, from one side, we implement our local project, European Regional Development Fund project. On the other hand, we implement this ERDF project, which objectives that was meant in framework program. Significant dates for our project was at first September 2020, when we recruited this ERDF. For us, it took 1.5 years to make this process. The second deadline was December 2020, when we recruited the core team of the project. And in these last months, we had still discussions with our funders about the progress of the project and about its capacity to fill all its requirements. And we had additional obligations to make accent on structural changes at the University of Latvia. And so on the 5th April, we got a positive answer from funders that the project can be implemented. And so on this conference day, the project is ready to be implemented in a full scale. Our main activities of the project was to attract ERDF, his research team, and the tasks will be to prepare publications, to prepare new project proposals, to implement international collaboration, and to make structural changes at the University of Latvia. And numerically, these outcomes were that we expect to have at least 24 publications, 2 patent applications, 6 project proposals to be prepared, to organize 2 international conferences. The first conference is this, what we are currently having, to have a lecture course within a theme of quantum optics and photonics to be prepared by our ERDF, to develop strategy for the development of quantum optics and photonics at the University of Latvia, and to prepare human resource strategy for researchers at the University of Latvia. And within this project, we plan to achieve these impacts that are expected in this work program Horizon 2020 of the ERDF call. We want to increase the attractiveness of University of Latvia National Science Platform Photonic-LV for international excellent and mobile researchers. We expect that ERDF that we have recruited and his team and research that will be done at University of Latvia will be a strong attraction point for incoming researchers and for various collaboration with external partners. We expect that we will reach increased excellence of the University of Latvia in the specific field covered by our ERDF holder, which will be quantum optics and photonics. We will increase the capability to compete for international competitive research funding like framework program, and to implement structural changes. And part of these changes will be alignment with priorities of European research area. Why we selected this specific theme of quantum optics and photonics? Because there are long tradition and University of Latvia to develop this direction. This topic has been developed for at least 50 years with more than 100 active researchers in the field. And we have several research units that deal with this topic, like Institute of Atomic Physics and Spectroscopy, Institute of Astronomy, Laser Center, and other institutes. And we expect that this ERDF project will give advantage to all these institutes and departments, and will help to organize stronger interaction among them. Then we selected this topic of quantum optics and photonics because European K-name of technology is photonics. Additionally, we have smart specialization in smart materials, technology and engineering. And we have a industry in Latvia which works in this field. And these are the activities of the project. The first activity was the recruitment of the area chair. The second activity was the recruitment of the area chair team and its management. Third activity was to perform research activities. Fourth work package was about preparation of new project proposals. Work package 5 on strategy development and structural changes. Work package 6 on communication, dissemination, networking activities, and work package 7 of management. And we created advisory board of the project, which includes also Sun Svanberg and Lorenzo Pavesi, which we already heard, and we will hear their presentations today. And we have other research leaders in Latvia and a manager from Estonia who was leading Horizon 2020 area chair project in Tallinn University of Technology. The first work package was the recruitment of the area chair. For this, we created a selection committee, which consisted of advisory board, project leaders, and members of the University of Latvia. We made an announcement for this position. It was open position for researchers worldwide, and we published this announcement in Our Access, Physics Today Jobs, Nature Careers, ResearchGate, and LinkedIn. And the task 3 was to evaluate these candidates. At first, we ranked candidates who sent their CVs and motivation letters and selected best 2 or 3 candidates. And then we invited these candidates to present to the selection committee, and we selected the best candidate. And it appeared that we had to make 2 competitions because the first competition ended without results. The deadline for the first competition was October 2019, and we received 2 applications, and we selected 3 candidates for the second stage. And first 2 winners finally refused to accept the position, and the third candidate at first accepted the position of area chair, but then refused it in June 2020, largely due to COVID-19 issues and travel restrictions and problems with her relatives. And then we announced the second competition, which was with the deadline of August 2020. We got 33 applications, and we selected 3 best candidates, heard their presentations remotely, and selected the best candidate, Rashid Ganeev, that is the chair of this conference, which we recruited from United Arab Emirates. And his work agreement started already in October 2020. This is our selected area chair. We were impressed by his activity in publication writing, and he has 504 publications and Hirsch index 47. So in this aspect, he was the strongest candidate. And he worked at that moment at American University in Sharjah. And his research theme is nonlinear optics and laser-produced plasmas. He's in the last 20 years, he was researcher in various research centers around the world, and he's publishing research papers, 15 to 25 papers annually. And currently, for last few months, he worked remotely, but still was actively involved in all activities of the project. And he is will move to Latvia next week, and so we will see him and we'll start to collaborate in a new and more advanced way. He brought with him also a research network within Europe and worldwide, and this good options, good things that University of Latvia obtains through recruitment of area chair Rashid Ganeev. Then we made announcements for the research team of area chair. And finally, we recruited 4 persons. 2 were from Latvia and 2 from foreign countries. And we had still discussions with funders about the continuation projects. Therefore, there was some delay for recruitment of foreign partners, but currently we have active communication with these foreign partners, Javed Iqbal and Vyacheslav Kim, who are also will present in this conference, and we expect to see them in Riga at the mid of May. And third activity was research activity of Ericher and his research team. As was written in the task of the project, we plan to prepare at least 24 publications, but as Ericher, Rashid Ganeev is very active in publication writing, so we expect that we will exceed this number of publications. Maybe we will achieve at least 50 publications during the project. We will develop topics of the research, which is covered by Ericher and his research team. Additionally, we plan to start some new themes that industry has required. We have a photonics and smart materials cluster in Latvia, and several companies submitted their themes that they are interested in. And we, under the leadership of Rashid Ganeev, we try to pick some of these themes and to develop them to strengthen interaction with the industry. We plan to involve also students to learn from us and to make the sustainability of this topic. We are establishing a laboratory of nonlinear optics at the University of Latvia with the leader Rashid Ganeev, and we are planning to collaborate with foreign research institutions to get access to advanced research equipment like femtosecond lasers. We plan to be involved in Laser Lab Europe network as users of this network. Currently, we have submitted 8 papers, 5 are published, and 1 is accepted, 2 has been submitted, you can see here. And here are some information about our planned collaboration with industry. We have already active collaboration with industry leaders in Latvia. Okay. So my time has finished, but because we started earlier, I think we have some time to continue.
Yes, you have maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Please.
Okay, thank you. And we plan to collaborate strongly with European Photonics Industry Consortium, with Riga Photonics Center and Photonics and Smart Materials Cluster in Latvia. The first work package was to prepare competitive project proposals for international and local competitions. And in the project application, we wrote that we want to raise project applications for framework programs, at least 4 projects, at least 1 project for European Regional Development Fund projects, at least 1 project for Latvian Council of Science. And during this work package, we also plan to make seminars about framework programs and how to write successful project applications. And we plan to have several visits to potential partners for new projects. And here are results that have been achieved so far. We have prepared 2 project applications in Horizon 2020 program. The leader of this project applications was Arnold Zubels, and the first project was the development of new technology under FET Open Call, and the second project was collaboration with industry and academia partners to develop the theme of negative ions. These projects were not financed, and therefore we plan to evaluate them and to submit in Horizon to Europe calls. And then other applications were applied to local funds, and 1 was applied to European Regional Development Fund projects for industry-driven research, and it obtained funding. So this is a success of the project. And then 2 additional projects were applied to Latvian Council of Science calls. They wasn't financed, and therefore we again think to reevaluate them and to improve and to submit in new calls. And we have identified international project calls where we are planning to write project applications. And first will be ERC Advanced Grant, which will be prepared by our RHR Russian Ganeev. The application deadline is August 2021. And we have already identified the theme, and now we're in process of preparation. And the second project will be the Horizon Europe teaming project, which Arnold Zubels already mentioned. This project is for 6 years with 15 million euro contribution from European Commission and 50 million euro contribution from local funds. And we plan to develop the Center of Excellence in Quantum Optics and Photonics. And currently this project is in preparation, and we see this as a good next step for this RHR project. And we have additional planned calls for local competitions. For example, we have Latvian Science Council grants that have deadline in August 2021. And we are expecting that there will be, again, European Regional Development Fund project call on industry-driven research, where we plan to apply project applications. Then the next work package is about strategy development and structural changes. The project is aimed to design and implement structural changes to achieve excellence on a sustainable basis. And for this, this guidance and leadership of our RHR Russian Ganeev is of crucial importance. And within work package, we plan to develop strategy for the development of quantum optics at Photonics at the University of Latvia, and to develop strategy for human resources. And within this activity, we already have participated in the strategy development of University of Latvia for 2021 and 2027. And several of us were involved in working groups on research, studies, and impact on society that were part of this strategy development. And what we expect with these structural changes, one thing will be we will emphasize the collaboration among various research units of University of Latvia that work in the field of quantum optics and photonics. We will strengthen our collaboration with industry. We will develop publication writing skills in our research group and wider in our research community of University of Latvia. Our selected RHR Rashid Ganeev is highly experienced in this topic, and we highly expect that we will gain this skill development from him. And then we plan to analyze and learn from strong academic institutions worldwide, and then this best practice to incorporate at the University of Latvia. Then in 2020, we had evaluation of research in Latvia by Technopolis Group, and University of Latvia also got this evaluation, and some weaknesses of the university in this technology and natural sciences field were highlighted, and we expect that the RHR project will develop some strategy how to overcome these weaknesses. And then we have a work package on communication, dissemination, networking activities. We plan to participate in conferences, to organize 2 international conferences, to prepare a lecture course, which will be prepared by our RHR Russian Ganeev, and will help to attract students to our research topics. And then we plan incoming visits. And due to COVID-19, this visit activity is not very active. Therefore, we are substituting by this remote communication through Zoom. And when we planned for this conference a few years ago, we planned that this will be a conference in Riga, and we will invite these guest speakers, and therefore we will plan so large visit of external experts in Latvia. And we have developed a web page of the project, which is written here, where also linked to the conference, Zoom links were posted. And this is a place where the progress of the project and information of the project is given. And then we have a management of the project, and me as a coordinator, and Rashid Gavniev as a leader, our area chair. Then we have Arnold Zubils in the leadership of the project, Kalvis Salviņš as the director of the Institute of Astronomy. You will hear him after my presentation. We have administrative leaders, Dina Bērziņa and Anna Bula. And within these activities, we have to report to our funders. And specific, what's the difference for us to implement Horizon 2020 project or European Regional Development Project is that in our case, we have a larger bureaucracy and not a large freedom to implement the project. So it will take a lot of effort to prepare all documents and reports appropriately. And then within this work package, we are communicating with our advisory board and reporting to them and giving them information of actualities of the project. And this is a progress that has been achieved so far. So we have recruited Richard and for his group members, we have submitted 8 publications and submitted already 5 project proposals. So we have achieved these results already. So the project has achieved a significant progress already now. And we expect that all planned results of the project will be achieved during the project, and even we will make larger results than planned as the first submission of the project. And so the conclusions that we have attracted Eric Chair and his excellent research team, and we expect that his created capacity is enough strong to prepare good publications, to write competitive project proposals, and increase the overall performance of University of Latvia in research and development. And we hope that this project will boost the development of quantum optics and photonics at the University of Latvia, and will impact the University of Latvia for at least the next 10 years. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Atvars, for your detailed description of the projects to be implemented in the University of Latvia during nearest at least 3 years, and we hope that it will be developed for further implementation and structural changes in the University of Latvia. Are any questions to Dr. Atvars? If there are no questions,